That's the difference, though. Some people will take your your sarcasm or your jokes or your opinions and like really get offended by it, and other people will be like, "Not what I was expecting." That's super funny. I'm glad we have different ideas and we do different things. Like, I don't know.
I know.
That's what's
It's more
lacking.
fun.
It's more fun. Yeah.
I don't want you to be the same as me, or I would just be by myself. Hey, Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. How are you, Kaylee? I'm good. Welcome back, turkeys.
Happy Tuesday, turkeys.
To the Turkeyverse.
Happy Turkey
There we
Tuesday.
go. Damn it, we did this last time too, and I fucked it up.
Shoot.
It's all right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Hello to Kayla.
Hello. How are you doing, Kailey?
Very well. Listeners, I will describe to you, viewers, you will notice that I have a different wardrobe on. Usually it's very plain black top. Today I'm in mourning. I am wearing my Aaron Rodgers jersey. He has officially announced that he has going to trade. I don't know where. I'm still processing, so I don't really want to read any more about it. I'm not bitter.
I want to say it's the Jets, but then now I'm going to sound like an idiot if I'm
I
not
felt
right.
like the Jets too, but then that's where Brett Favre went after he left, which would be funny that they both went to the Jets.
Be very ironic.
I know, and it's still green. I don't know, Aaron, I'm going to still keep wearing your jersey, your Packer jersey, because I have no hard feelings. So I'm happy for you. I'm sad for myself. You don't know me or care. I will not be one of the people hating on him, because you gotta look out for yourself and not other people's feelings. So good for you for not trying to manage the feelings of the fans and looking out for yourself. I'm gonna still wear your jersey along with my Clay Matthews jersey and my Reggie White jersey and my Donald Driver jersey. I officially have no jerseys of any current players.
Isn't that so sad? Everything changes so much, you have to keep buying them, which is probably a great strategy for their bottom line.
Well, I feel like the Packers have had a good run of solids.
Oh, correct. I just mean like NFL gear.
I know.
But I think they do something now where you can like trade it in or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I kind of like my collection.
I know, because it's reminiscent.
I mean, if I had a jersey from like one of the Packers where there was like a little bit of like a like something weird happened, that one maybe I wouldn't want to wear. I don't have any of those. I only know of one person's controversy, and I shan't name him, but it was a long time ago.
Oh, I almost was gonna say a name,
But
I won't say that name. On a different note, my jersey is by someone who is no longer on the team, but I have Jennings' jersey. That's my only Packer jersey.
I kind of love having the ones that I've loved and then they left. I mean, whatever.
You have a lot of good ones.
I loved all of them. So, Aaron, no hard feelings. Again, my opinion doesn't matter to you, but I wish you well in all of your endeavors. Thanks for the Super Bowl. It's been a great run. This week's tea is brought to you by tonic water and lime and no gin, because I feel like I drank enough this weekend.
Just tonic water and lime? Oh, I thought you were about to say something interesting or exciting.
I just feel like I drank enough this weekend, and we're going out of town this weekend coming, so I'm like, well, we could maybe take a break from the alcohol. Also,
this week it's brought to you by my iced coffee with caffeine in it this time, because it's been a day and I need some actual caffeine. I try to, like, every other day I'll allow myself 1 cup of coffee.
Oh, I like that.
And it's been a good compromise. So
that makes sense. Then you still get a little beep when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note, this is not related, but I have questions.
As
always. This is springing from a recent experience that I had of going to the eye doctor. It really has brought out a lot of questions. I'm going to just kind of ask them in rapid succession. I don't need an answer unless you have an answer to any, like you could pick or choose, or just the viewers can respond later. one, do normal people go to the eye doctor like their whole life? Or like, am I behind the wagon that I'm just now going at 31? How do you know, number two, if you can't see? Is it just like you do shitty in school and then your parents think maybe it's you're not an idiot, you can't see the board, so they take you and then you figure it out? Like, I kind of thought when I got there, am I gonna have this revelation that I've been walking around with blurry eyes my whole life and then be like, wow. And then three, oh, the eye chart. Do people cheat? Because it seems like it would be really easy to do. And I mean, I guess what would be the advantage? But I mean, aren't they always the same? So you could just memorize like EDBF or, whatever the fuck it is. And then as I was sitting in the chair getting my eyes looked at, I was like, am I going to need glasses? Which led me to question number 4. If I get glasses, do I wear them while I'm having sex or do you take them off? And then I got to thinking, what about people who like can't see? Do they leave them on? I mean, probably you wear like contacts, but this led into further discussion because Jason and I were talking about a person that we mutually know in like our periphery that's extremely dweeby. And we were like, is he leaving his glasses on? Does he like come up for air and have to like defog them? I just, wow. Or, I mean, is that like a strategy? Some people have beer goggles, but some people who can't see just have no glasses goggles. So if they were in the dating hookup world, they could just take their glasses off and then just be really into the blob. But what if you're a visual person and you need to see the person to like get into it? Then you can't, you'd have to.
There's so many things I want to respond to. Were those all your questions?
I think that's it.
Okay, as someone who is a contact wearer slash glasses wearer, since about third grade, yeah, man, I have horrible eyesight. I was too young to remember how they figured it out, but I feel like normal adults, if you can see, I feel like you wouldn't go to the eye doctor. Like, I know so many people who have decent or good eyesight, and like, what's the need? I mean, you probably should once you get to a certain age to make sure you're not getting like, not glaucoma. That's like really farther down the line. Hopefully not. But I have had to go every year since I was like in third grade. Um, but I feel maybe if say you're in class and you notice you're really squinting, or someone else notices you squinting, maybe that's a sign of like, you may want to go to the eye doctor. Or if your eyes start really hurting when you're staring at the computer screen for too long because you're straining. But that's kind of everyone, I feel like, these days. What else did you say? I don't think you can cheat with a test. Because as much as I've gone to the eye doctor, I will never remember the order. And they sometimes, I think, change it unless you're going to the same eye doctor every time. Well, there's always a big E. But fun fact, if I take my contacts and glasses off, I actually cannot see the E. So if they ever changed it, I would not know.
That is
Isn't that crazy?
unbelievable.
I know. I have really bad eyesight. There was something else I was going to say.
I'm not trying to rub it in, but I found out I don't need glasses. I'm experiencing eye strain.
No, that's good. I'm glad you don't, because it's a pain in the butt.
I know. But the optometrist also was like, listen, everyone's going to need glasses because we live as long as we live. So it's just going to happen at some point in your life. But he's like, we can hold off. And then he taught me the 20-20-20 rule, which I'm sure other people know, but look 20 feet away for 20 seconds and blink your eyes 20 times.
Oh, I didn't know the last part, the blinking part.
Yeah, I guess if you're looking at small screens or things up close, you tend not to blink as much, and then your eyes can dry out.
That's so smart.
I know. He can call himself a doctor.
Yeah. I am sad that I have such bad eyesight, but I feel normally if you are decent, unless you're having issues or if you reach a certain age, that I don't feel like there's a need to go. It's not like you go to your normal doctor and get a physical exam every year. It's like if you can see, right?
It's true. And I mean, I haven't had a general doctor since I was seen by a pediatrician, basically. It's on my to-do list.
Wait, have you not had a yearly?
No, I don't. I mean, I have a woman doctor.
I gotcha.
But
you don't have like a family
yeah, I don't
practice
have like
doctor.
the general hub of American medicine that does all your referrals. I just go get the ticking time bombs checked and then,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's good enough.
I know. I mean, whatever. I did learn that I have a freckle in my eye. Apparently, they're just like freckles on your skin, but it's in your eye, and I don't know. He's like, it's not cancer. And I'm like, was that on the table at some point? But he said just like a skin freckle, they just kind of track the size and shape. So if it grows a lot or gets really weird, then it's something they monitor.
That's so interesting. Can you see it now that he pointed it out, or is it not?
I think so. I mean, on the screen it
like
looked like it was my pupil, but I don't know. I should do some further investigation on that. But anyway.
Yeah, stare into your own eyes and let us know.
It was very interesting. Very nice people, nice practice. Part of me always, just like how I glamorized people biting their nails and their nail nubs, I think I've always glamorized people with glasses. But upon thinking about these questions, I don't want to have to contend with some of the, consequences of needing glasses. So I'm thankful.
Yes, you should be thankful, because as much as I understand why it's not glamorized, but until you have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, it's not bad. But when you're in it, it's just so annoying. Like, imagine waking up in the morning, it's a beautiful day, and you open your eyes and you can't see shit. What if someone breaks into the house? The first thing that I'm doing, I have to reach over and make sure I can find my glasses and put them on quick. That's the first thing I always have to do. And if they drop, or if like someone moves it, I am ski-rude. Like, I can't go anywhere. It's really sad, like when you wake up and you can't like look at your husband or look out the window and see how beautiful it is until you shuffle around and find your glasses and put them on.
I never thought of that. It's like, good morning, Blob.
And you can't sleep with them, because even if you want to like put your head down sideways and rest your head on a pillow, the indentation of your glasses on your face really, really hurts after a while.
Yeah, I can see that, because even just lying down with like headphones on is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
So I'm glad you don't need glasses.
Thank you. I am overall glad too. It might have been kind of a cute look, but I can. You can
always get some fake ones.
I can just get some like blue light ones or something. I don't know. Also, for those of you listening, she did say pillow.
I didn't even notice. This has been a thing for, as long as you've known me. And it's apparently not a Texas thing. It's not a Wisconsin thing. It's a Kayla says things weird thing, I guess. And I say pillow instead of pill. Oh.
I think there's other people though that say pillow.
I'm sure. If you're out there, please give me some validation.
Pillows unite. But you don't say milk. And that's the only thing that matters.
Mm-mm. I'm glad I don't have that one, because that one gives me the hibby-jibbies, like you say.
Pillow is kind of endearing. Maybe it's just because of it's what you say and I've known you this long, but milk is horrid. It falls in line with reef and birthday and ambulance.
Wait, can I say two other ones? I'm so sorry, but when anyone says salmon or yolk, I can't stop laughing in my head.
I don't like that. I don't like either when people pronounce the G in an ing word.
Oh, like coming. No, I can't even do it.
I find it interesting that's the ing word you chose. But I was thinking, like, swimming.
Swimming.
It's the g
I don't like
at
that.
The end. Like, I was shopping. There's a podcast that I listen to that I adore, but one of them does that every once in a while on the G, and I'm like, yeah. I just want to like get it out, but I like it enough that I don't stop. Apparently my mom said I've been saying I switch a word back and forth and I can't remember which word it is, but I'm going to have to try to remind myself I should have put that under listener feedback, but she told me that I'm changing how I'm pronouncing a word, and one of the ways is wrong, and it's driving her insane.
That's interesting.
I
I wonder what word
know, I
it is.
can't remember. I'll come back to it later. All right. Well, okay, so I have one more question that sort of I've been holding on to in my back pocket, and I feel bad to shit on a brand, but I'm about to pull down my pants and take a dump. So, have you seen those commercials for Lumi?
I have not.
Ugh. Okay, so I don't know what's in my like YouTube TV algorithm. Shout out to YouTube TV. I love it for live television. But I don't know what's in my algorithm that's the commercials that I'm getting on my commercial breaks. But it's some alleged physician woman. First of all, how dare she? Who apparently made this, and it's like all over deodorant, which wouldn't bother me, except that it feels as though they are directly targeting it toward being vagina deodorant. And I'm sorry, but I don't need anybody else telling me that my parts are smelly.
Valid. Do, how do you feel about douches?
Well, I've heard
Douching?
that's like
Douching?
absolutely not good for you.
Right, okay. I just want to make sure we're on the
No,
same page.
yeah, I just get annoyed. I get annoyed when a company's marketing strategy is like, "You're gross, use this."
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you are gross smelling and like things are happening, I feel like that's a doctor's visit,
I
not
agree.
a vaginal deodorant serum.
Yeah, that one's hard because like it's a whole thing. It's a whole microbiome universe down
I
there.
know.
It's the same with your stomach. It's just it there's pHs and things
I
happening that
know.
it's not gonna smell like flowers.
And I don't think you're supposed to put it in there, to be fair to this lady. I haven't researched it. Like, I get if you just are putting on, like, I don't know, if
I was trying to imagine you like you know how you just roll a stick over your armpit. I'm like, what are you
I know, I'm
rolling
like,
that
are you
on
just
down
putting
there?
some, like, inner thigh rubbing? It looks like a lotion. It's like a tube. So, I mean, I could see how if there were like a deodorant aspect to it, that it would help if you had like chafing issues. But I'm just bothered that the premise is that there's a female physician being like, "Oh, if you take a shower, you'll smell normal for this long, and if you use Lumi, you'll smell better for this long." And I'm like, "But also, maybe if at the end of the day you smell a little funky, you should take a fucking another shower."
Also, I just have a problem with the same thing with the douching thing. What is in there? Even if they advertise it as organic, no, preservatives, no phthalates, whatever is normally in like a deodorant or lotion, to be able to be a deodorant or lotion type product, there's got to be some stuff in there that's probably going to throw off your pH balance or something that's not probably supposed to be in or around your hoo ha. You know what I'm
I'm like,
saying? It's just that.
can we just let it be? I mean, I know like 2 episodes ago I said I was tearing all the hair out of it, but I mean, this obsession with the smell, I think just bothers me because I feel like people have made me feel self-conscious about this in my life, or just like, I don't even know, I can't tell you who said it. It just feels like there's a thing, especially when you're like in high school and you're growing, of like somehow you get a message that your pussy stinks.
I like how you just went for the P word.
I don't know if you're supposed to bleep that for YouTube. We'll find out. I don't know. Maybe in post we'll just go like meh. I'll just make that noise and put it over.
Meow.
That would be even
Sorry.
better.
I thought it'd go along with the theme.
So, what was I saying? I don't know. I'm just kind of perturbed by that whole thing. It's like, this is a part of your body, and a baby literally like could spring out of it, and it's needed for the life of the world. And I don't see equal amounts of like ball sack deodorant, and that shit can get stinky too. But here again, I'd rather my partner like take an extra shower, then like slather something around down there and mask whatever bacteria is growing that's causing that smell.
That's true, because I do know of one company that does offer like ball deodorant, and I would just rather a shower. I feel you.
Yeah. Just go to the doctor, take a shower. Like, taking a shower is not managing it. Go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that.
I'm glad we cleared that up. I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I know, every time the commercial comes on, I'm like, here we go again with the fucking Lumi. And the lady seems perfectly nice, but she pisses me off. And it feels like a betrayal when it's another woman doing it. And then more so when you're a doctor and you're using, like, the threat of a white coat on top of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, come on, bro. Okay. Fine. Speaking of things that you put in your vagina, have you ever used a menstrual cup?
A menstrual cup?
Yeah.
No, actually. I think I'm too afraid to try.
Tell me your fears, if you want.
My fear is, how far do I have to shove my own fingers up my you-know-where to get this thing in and out? What if it gets stuck? What if it unsuctions itself and I'm leaking everywhere? And my other thing is, to cleaning it. I just have this brain block of, and I get the benefits of it. I have this brain block of seeing it after use, cleaning it, and then knowing that same one's going to go back inside. I get that there's sanitary ways to clean it, but those would be my, however many I mentioned, that's why I haven't tried it yet.
Do you think you ever will?
Maybe. Honestly, you know what I would probably try first before that?
What?
This is going to show my hippy dippy side. I would probably try like free bleeding over putting that in my vagina. Isn't that interesting?
I get that, but if you don't want to see what's in the cup, bruh, you're going to see it.
I know.
It's going to be
I would
around.
get like, I know, I would get the special underwear, but then you got to be careful because apparently there's just a lawsuit with certain type of underwear where they had bad, material in it. That's right up on your area.
I'd be afraid
I honestly don't.
Yeast infections from the moisture. I mean, UTI.
Well, it wouldn't be like, I'm just going to free bleed this whole period for 5 days. It would be, I'm going to take today while I'm at home and just be aware and then like not sit there for 5 hours and just kind of do it in small chunks of time.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
I see. That's fair. Interesting. I don't know. I thought it was a fun topic to talk about because I didn't ever know what they were until quite recently in my life. And I think everybody has all these new, like, period ways of handling things. Let's just say there's more than when we first got ours.
For sure.
Which, when we got ours, was pretty monumental compared to hearing stories from my mom's generation.
1,000%.
Or the weird, they were like cotton pad, like essential diapers, and then they had like a belt that held them up.
Oh, I didn't know about the belt.
Insane. Or the whole thing of, if you use a tampon, you're not a virgin anymore. That great story.
I remember hearing that as a kid. So, what are your thoughts on the cup then, since you do use one?
Well, so everyone has all these opinions of like the environment and whatever else, which, I mean, that's fine, I guess, for the environment. But truth be told, I didn't do this for the earth. I don't even know how I heard about it. I think it was actually from a youth group leader, which everyone, let's like not a woman listening, calm down. It's like normal for adult women in your life when you're in high school to explain things. It's how information was passed down for generations. So I think it was, she tried one, I think, when we went on like a long camping trip, because you can leave them in for longer, I think. But then now that I think about it, I don't know how she would have done that, because I don't know how she would have cleaned it. But I feel like that's where I heard about it from, because they can stay in for 12 hours instead of a tampon, which is like 7 or 8. So I think I just got like brave one day and I said I was going to give this a whirl. For the men listening, again, things you probably didn't want to know, but if you ever have a daughter, this is good information. The following reasons are why tampons are terrible. Number 1, wet tampon strings. Number 2, they can fall out. Number 3, if they unadjust and then expand and they're not properly seated. Number 4, if you poop and push them out. Not all the way out, but like maladjust them.
I thought that was rolled into the second one when you said they could fall out. That's a whole separate topic besides the pooping, pushing, fallout situation.
Just, it's like if they've been in there too long, it's just like they adjust weird or something. Mm-hmm. And then my new problem are these ones that I bought for just like in betweener times, or if I just need one, or if I'm going somewhere where I'm not willing to like get as involved as putting in a cup. It opens flat. Whose vagina's flat?
I do. That is true, because you see the videos too when they're testing them, and it literally, for people that don't know or men or haven't seen it, it's like a circular thing that is inserted. But then, yeah, you're right. Once it expands, it's like wings out to the side.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I didn't think about that.
So then I would still leak. And that's kind of how it started. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just try this whole cup thing. Life-changing. Number 1.
Really?
Yes, because there's no string. So never again do I have to try to like scrabble around and find it, first of all, which is a nightmare unto itself. And then I don't have to hold it out of the way while I pee and hope I don't pee on it, because that's horrid. It sits in there. It sits differently, and it's soft, and it is flexible, so it takes the shape of your canal and it, like, lives there. And then it doesn't fill up like a tampon does and then start leaking.
So what happens if you leave it in too long and like it's, I'm using air quotes for no one who's watching or anyone who's watching, like overflow or like fill up to the top? Then what happens? Is that a possibility?
I don't think, I feel like if that happened, you need to go to the doctor. Like, I think for myself, I thought I was bleeding way more than I was bleeding. Because you think that your tampon is like so full, that's why it's really not that much liquid.
So you're not filling it up all the way.
Nowhere
it's
near.
Just catching. I got you.
And it's kind of cool too, because they have measurements on the side, like milliliters or something. I don't know. So they're way bigger than the normal like your normal flow would be. But for people who need to track stuff or might be having medical issues, you actually can know how much you're bleeding.
That's also really cool that you can see the color of it. I'm assuming better because with the tampon, with it getting absorbed, or with the pad, what's absorbing it, I feel like can change the color, but the color of your, sorry to all the men out there, the color of your period blood is like a really good indication of other health factors. So that's really cool.
I know, it's really interesting. Or like, I know that it can be negative if you have like a ton of blood clots and stuff like that. So just like consistency, color. And by no means am I sitting here like, let's take a gander. Like, I'm not doing a full-blown like microscopic analysis of my period blood, because I'm not gross. But it is kind of one of those things where I like dump it in the toilet and I'm like, okay. Or just to kind of, mentally note. And I know that if I ever needed to track something, if my physician told me to, I'd have an actual like measurable way to do that. That would be pretty easy to do.
Okay, you're kind of selling me besides two things. I still don't want to reach my fingers all the way up there. So my first question is, how hard is it to get it in and get it out?
Not hard.
How hard? No? Okay.
At all. It was a little bit weird in the beginning because I just wasn't sure how. Because obviously with a tampon, you have the applicator. So it's really not going in like any deeper than your tampon is. It's not like you're having to go for a burrow.
Okay. It's not like suctioning all the way up to your cervix,
No, it's
right?
definitely not hitting. Like, it's not
Okay.
like it's flush with your cervix. It's not a female
Okay.
condom. I think those go up there. Nothing like
That's what I was
that.
picturing. Okay.
No, I actually one time, so there's like a little nubbin on the bottom that's like a string, but it's not. But it's just like something to grasp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you don't have to like go inside to get it out.
Okay. You just have to kind of.
You just kind of like pull on the
Okay. Okay.
nubbin.
Okay. Okay.
And also, if you do Kegel exercises, you can kind of like push it out a little and then pull on the nubbin.
Okay, I'm sorry. Follow-up question. When you take it out, do you have to sit over the toilet because
I
will
do
it spill
100% of the
potentially?
time.
Okay.
I've never
Yeah,
spilt
yeah, yeah.
anything, but I always pull it out on
I
the
gotcha.
toilet because I dump it in the toilet.
My only other question concern, and now hear me out because tampons are no better, especially if you're not using organic tampons. So let me preface this by saying what I'm doing is not healthy either, but is it made of plastic? And do we know if that's okay to be sitting in there for,
I
you know what I'm
don't,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think anything up there for a good amount of time is probably like great, but plastic makes me nervous. But also
Is silicone
cotton.
plastic? I thought it was rubber.
If it's silicone, then that could be better. I don't know.
It's definitely silicone. It's definitely not
Okay.
plastic. But I don't know. I would think it's something that you wouldn't want to use for 10 years.
Like live with? Yeah.
Yeah, like buy new ones. It's okay. They're like $15 on Amazon.
I gotcha.
So they don't cost a lot, but I have two so I can rotate them so one can like get fully cleaned and then dry. And I don't know. I also don't use them all of the days every day because I don't really need them.
Right.
Like it's just on day like 1, 2, 3 when things are heavy, and then sometimes I might like use a tampon just to kind of soak up the residuals.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
on the days that are light, it's like, bitch, we just wearing black underwear. Like it's not
I like it.
at the end, and it's just like the trails. It's no different than just when you're ovulating. So I don't really worry about that little bit at the end.
What do you mean when you're ovulating?
Like the amount of discharge is really not that different than like the fluid that you leak when you're ovulating.
I gotcha.
So it's not like I'm sitting there with like wet pants, like being one of those like stamper dots everywhere I sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Well, obviously I'm not getting my period right now, but eventually I may consider. I think I've gained some knowledge today that I would consider using it.
I just really think at the end of the day, it makes my life easier, which is what I love. And I can set it and forget it, and I don't leak, and I don't pee on my
Hey,
string, and it doesn't fill up and move around and like start crowning. I mean, none of it. I'm such a fan. I never thought I would be either. It's kind of like a weird, I don't know, they'll probably come out and be like, it's going to kill you. But for right now, it feels like the better option. And it's making my life so much less annoying.
I like it. I'm here for the differences, and I'm not opposed to trying it one day.
I mean, I feel like it's the same as people who turn around and look at their poop in the toilet.
I was just gonna say that earlier when you said I'm not gonna like examine it under a microscope, but you kind of just like when you just like
Yeah,
turn around, you
information.
take a peek, you make sure it's like okay, we're good. That one looks fine. That does not look fine. What did
Yeah.
I eat? Why is it still solid? Like you never get that when you have not eaten, ate corn. Well, I don't know the word. When you have consumed corn, when you have not consumed corn, and there's a corn-like substance in you know where. Well, what is that? I'm sorry. We don't need to go off on a tangent on that again, but that's a question that I have.
I just want to know what's coming out of me. I check my Kleenexes to see what my booger consistency looks like.
Which is also a good sign of whether you're getting sick or not. Also, I went through like a bloody nose phase, and so if you do check, there's typically a sign of hey, you may be getting a bloody nose coming soon if you have a little bit of redness in there. So I'm all for observing your own bodily fluids and functions.
Right? I check my pee color to see if I'm hydrated. Do you know what's
Yes.
horseshit? Is everyone's showing you those signs of this is what color your pee should be? And all this time that I thought I was hydrated, I probably wasn't hydrated because that's the color that your pee should be coming out of your body, not the color that it should be in the toilet, diluted by a bowl full of water.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I thought of this the other day as I was hovering, as you do when there's foreign objects on the toilet rim. And I was hovering and I was watching where it was going. And then I was like, damn, that's a clear stream. And I was like, ah, fuck, I'm hydrated. But then I thought about it and I was like, holy shit, every day that there's a color in the toilet, I must not be hydrated.
Interesting. I am having a hard time telling because I need to be drinking more water. I know that. I think I'm just chronically dehydrated, and I think 90% of us are. But the prenatals that I'm taking completely turn my pee like a neon yellow. So the first time I took it, I was at an appointment for one of our first pregnancy appointments, and they did a urine test, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was this dehydrated. And they're like, no, I think it's your prenatal. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, when it's like
That made
neon.
me feel better.
Yeah. If it's brown, that's when you need to be concerned. Dude, I gotta do like just one segment that is just drug testing stories. But I can't tell you the number of times that I would drug test somebody and their urine would be like amber.
From what?
Pee.
Oh.
Because they were so dehydrated. And it's going into a cup, so it's not diluted with water. And I would look at that and be like, go drink some fucking water. What are you doing?
Or could it be like one of those detox kits that they're taking that turns their pee a weird color?
No, that'll turn it bright, highlight, or yellow.
Okay,
That's like taking vitamins. Because I think it's a flush of, I'm not going to tell people, but yeah.
Just curious.
The cheat is different than like when you see, like you've seen those charts, are you hydrated? And there's those ones on the far end that are like brown looking and you're like, who the fuck would ever pee that? Oh, I've seen them. I'm like,
that's stressful.
Girl, go get some water. I mean, if you're working landscaping in Florida and you're sweating a lot, I can totally see how you could get really dehydrated. But I know for a fact your ass woke up at 10 and like waddled in here. Go get something to drink. That's not Coke or water or juice. Water. Just drink water. It hurts my kidneys just looking at it. Okay. Keeping in theme with our period speaking, do you have any horror stories of when you got your period when you were a kid?
I don't.
I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
There's not like a specific story besides just all of the. I think we've all had as women times where we didn't know we were about to get it, and then we get it, and it's one of those things where it's like, shoot, I do not have a pad or a tampon, or if I happen to find a bathroom with those stupid little metal boxes on the wall, I don't have 25 cents to get a freaking tampon, so you have to ask somebody, and everyone's always really nice because we've all been in that situation, but that's happened maybe once or twice. And the only other thing that I can think of is, again, it's not a specific story, but just always feeling like, I cannot wear white pants or anything white on the bottom when I have my period or when I'm close to getting it, and always feeling like I have to have a backup sweatshirt to wrap around my freaking waist if something were to happen. I don't do that as much now because I know my body, I know my cycle very well, but younger years.
And it's wild back then too.
Yes, you don't know what's just going on. You don't know, you have no knowledge of what your body is doing at that time, so it's just really nerve-wracking.
And I think every woman has a story of how in the beginning it's light and then like a switch flips and the floodgates open, and that's the day that you remember standing up in class and looking at the seat behind you and being like, oh shit. Oh my God. I think every one of us has a bleed through story from middle or high school. And thank God sad. We went to school up north where it was cold and we probably had a sweatshirt. Yeah. I mean, I remember tying my like purple sweatshirt around my waist and having to walk around with it all day at school.
That's so mortifying.
I know. I think it's... You go.
I was just going to say, it's not mortifying, but as a child, newly woman lead, what am I trying to say? When you get your period for the first couple times, it feels like the end of the world when something like that happens.
It's so nerve-wracking and it's embarrassing, and especially I think people are moving more in a direction. Again, I'm not here to like, I don't think I need to wear a sign and be like, ask me about my period, but I hope that girls are like slowly but surely feeling less and less bad about things. Like, oh, this came up. Someone was telling me they had a teacher, like I think they were maybe in middle or early in high school, and she had gone to the bathroom, realized she got her period, but didn't bring anything with her. Went back to class and sat down, and then said, I need to go to the bathroom again. The motherfucking teacher wouldn't let her go.
Was
Because
it
he
a woman
thought
teacher
that,
or a man
no,
teacher?
it was a man. But he wouldn't let her go because he thought she just wanted to go fuck off in the hallway. And like, you know, she's not a asshole weirdo like me that would have been like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go put a tampon in. I don't know. It's maybe a stretch, but that's not, you shouldn't have to do that as a girl that's just trying to figure out your period. And someone told me that story and I was like, that makes me so sad and cringy. And I hope that every teacher now gets a lesson on like, if girls go to the bathroom and come back in quick succession, have to go to the bathroom again, it's probably because she either peed, shit, or bled her pants. Like, just let her go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing that I remember, I know every woman out there has done this. When you have no pockets and you can't bring a purse, or it's like you're at school and you have a backpack, so you have to pull down your sleeve and you stick it in your backpack and you grab it and then you try to get the tampon up the sleeve and then you just walk around like hiding your tampon in your sleeves. I just remember doing that a lot.
I remember being so mad about like the shame surrounding periods by the time we got to high school. And I don't know that you and I were hanging out quite as much back then, but I was like, fuck this. Except I didn't say fuck back then. But I was like, I am not going to be embarrassed. It's just part of life. Like, I'm not going to show people, I'm not going to pull the dirty one out and make everybody look at it, but I'm not going to be embarrassed that I have to go to the bathroom because I'm on my period. And I vividly remember, like, I used to take my tampons out of my backpack. Like, I would unsheath them, not out of the wrapper, but like I would pull them out as if my backpack were the scabbard, and I would just pull it out and be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and would like walk down the hall with a tampon in my hand with my arm in the air. I did it.
I love it.
So many times. And then I remember there was a guy that kept fucking with my backpack, like stealing stuff out of my backpack when I was walking home from school. So I started putting tampons and pads in every pouch. So then he did it and he pulled out just like a handful of feminine products.
And he freaked?
He freaked out. I was like, don't fucking touch my stuff.
That's so great. I love how you owned it. I think it took me a long time to own it, like post-college. But now that I know how important it is and that it is a good... I mean, we've talked about this. I think we talked about that on a couple podcasts ago, and we shouted out the author, Lisa. But the fifth vital sign, I just feel like I'm proud to be a woman with a period. And as much as it's inconvenient, I am still owning it, and I like it.
I know. I don't need to be. I mean, obviously I was being obnoxious back then, but I think that's just my MO. Like, I always kind of think you've got to have people that push things a little too far to move the needle in the right direction so that it hits in more of like a normal middle ground. I don't do that shit now, but I did. I mean, I am not like embarrassed. Even like menstrual cups are kind of gross, and I know it's just kind of like a gross topic, but I'm like, I'm not going to be embarrassed. It's just another bodily fluid. Like, I don't think it's any different than going pee, and it's the same thing as pooping. Like, I'm not going to take a photo of it probably and send it to my friends, and I'm not going to do it in front of my husband, but I'm also not going to pretend that it doesn't happen because I'm a human being and I have a uterus, and I'm kind of glad I still have a uterus, because if I didn't, it would mean there was something wrong and I had to get it out.
Yep.
So whatever. And then the other day, so I don't try to be like too in your face with Jason about stuff, but like I have told him that's what I use, and he was like, oh, and I said, not you. I'm not going to show it to you, and I'm not going to make you watch. I'm not going to make you look at the contents, but it's not you. It's just part of life. It's fine. I'm not making paintings out of it.
Like some people.
Yeah, not a fucking weirdo, but and anytime, poor him, because he wasn't trying to be rude, but I just am so sensitive to like people referring to anything that's like a natural occurrence in my body being gross, because I feel like I've had to fight with myself to get over those things and to not feel self-conscious. So any like reminder of that just hits a nerve and kind of pisses me off. But I do the same code when I have to, like, when I'm on my period in the bathroom that I do when we're pooping, where I, like, shut the door all the way and turn the fan on, because I'll just let him think I'm going to poop. He doesn't need to know. But the other day, I got off the couch and I had to go to the bathroom, and then he was, I think actually I was getting in the shower, so he was going to, like, come in behind me in the bathroom and shave, because it's all one big bathroom, while I was in the shower. Well, I wasn't done changing out my cup yet, and I had the door shut and the fan on, so he's like, hey, can I come in? And I was like, no, I just need a minute. So he just went and sat down and assumed I was pooping. But then I came back out later and I was like, I said I only needed a minute, like. And he said, what were you doing in there? And I was like, the changing of the guard. I don't think he ever understood what that meant, but that's my new, that's only what I'm gonna call it now.
I freaking love it.
Because I have two and I have to boop boop change one out and put the other one in.
That's so funny.
That's my
interesting.
Story.
Well, I'm gonna keep all these things in mind when I start having a period again. It has been really great not to have one. I'm not gonna lie. It's been great.
I believe that. I believe it. I'm trying to think if I have any other period trauma. Anyone, if you're a guy and you still have somehow made it this long, like, go ask any woman in your life that you're close with, not some stranger, but like, if you have someone you care about that you're married to, ask them about their period trauma, because I guarantee you they have a story. Guarantee you. I talked about it before, but that kid in middle school that like went around one day and asked all the girls if they'd gotten their period yet. And this was before I was comfortable, like, making people uncomfortable. So it freaked me out because I barely had it and it was early. Mm-hmm. Ugh, what a pervert. Anyway, I will never forget him doing that. And then, oh my God, adult dating nightmare story. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. There was a guy that I very briefly went out with, and this happened at the end of this tour of duty for sure. But at one point, he basically made a comment like I wasn't feeling good or something. He's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And I was like, I just have cramps, so I'm a period." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I could tell." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can smell it."
He did not. He did
said
not.
That. And he didn't mean like that he could just specifically smell me. He meant like he could tell, like, woman population. He could smell, as if he were a goddamn bloodhound. He could smell periods.
Like the period pheromones that are...
I have no idea. I didn't ask questions. I had never been more mortified in my life. And he was saying this as if it were like a special skill you write on a resume.
I would never... Did you ever see him again? Because I would not want to ever see him again after he's...
I don't remember. To be honest, I was maybe 20 or 21. I think I was 20. I went through a phase where I ended up dating back to back these two very beta dudes, and I realized it's because they wanted mommies. Mm-hmm. And that's why they were drawn to me. Once I realized that this was a pattern and that it wasn't my fault for being a dick, they were gross, I quickly nipped that in the bud. But also for the ladies listening out there, and the dads, don't ever tell your kid that they're being mean if they think that the person they're going out with is gross or weird or makes them uncomfortable. I dated just two, but pansy baby, no, there was a third one, pansy baby beta boys, and that is just
that's,
I get it,
horrific that he said that.
Horrific, along with a lot of other qualities that were horrific. We can talk about some of those things later, but whole realization, if something makes you uncomfortable, you're not mean. It's probably an uncomfortable person.
Gosh.
Can
yeah,
you
trust
even
your
imagine?
Gut. No, I would have literally gotten so red and hot and stressed and embarrassed. No.
I think that I didn't. It was one of those moments where I didn't respond because of the shock.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just standing there like,
did he really just say that?
Is this life? Did I fall into some other dimension of the Matrix? Am I getting punked? Am I finally living my dream of being on Jackass? What are we doing?
I don't like.
No, nightmare. So we'll wrap up the period talk. I don't think I have any other things unless you have anything else you've thought of.
No, I can't think of anything else, thankfully.
So this is a PSA to all of the dads out there and all of the men that might be teachers. Just, I don't know, just educate yourselves a little bit. Just a little bit. Or just think like, maybe she's having a hard time. But also, like, probably don't ask her about it. Like, go get a female teacher and have her talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been way worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's such an awful time. All of it. Such a weird, cringy, awkward, flumpy, floofy time of life.
But if you're a young woman listening to this, I don't know how young our listeners will be, but I feel like you should be older if you're listening to this. But if you're not, just know that it gets better and it's all worth it. And it's a beautiful thing once you learn how to figure it out and honor it, in my humble opinion.
I haven't gotten to the beautiful part yet. But I respect it for the necessary part of my body that it is.
There you go.
And I appreciate that it exists because, again, it means that I'm healthy and my body is doing what it's supposed to. And, whatever. Just, it is what it is. If you didn't poop, you'd be constipated and then you'd get septic. So, I don't know. Body's going to do what body's going to do. Anyhow, I have a follow-up. We spoke last week of bidets.
Fun topic.
Yeah, so I don't know what algorithm figured out we were talking about bidets, but I have only ever seen and known of the attachment to a normal toilet.
Right.
Like, I guess in my head I knew that there were toilets that were bidets, but I was watching 90 Day Fiancé and I got an ad for a Kohler Smart Toilet.
What is
Have
that?
you seen this?
No.
I'm going to attempt to share my screen. I hope that it works. If it doesn't, we'll figure out a way to just like show it to the fans later. But it was so horrifyingly weird. Honestly, at first, you go.
I was just going to say, so there's bidets that are attachments to normal toilets for like the normal peons of the world that want their ass sprayed with water, and then there's also just toilets that are strictly like their whole function is to be a bidet. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, like this is a smart toilet, so it's like its thing.
See, those make me nervous. I'm gonna have I don't think I'm gonna like it, but I'm very curious.
I know. I'm curious too if why this is was working in practice and is not working in working.
We could always post it in post if need be.
It's true. It's true. Whoa. Can you see this?
I can. It looks like a dishwasher. No, it looks okay.
So for those of you listening, it does look like a dishwasher. It's called the Numi 2.0. I'd really like to be able to... First of all, I need everyone to take a gander at this. The advertisement for listening only is like a country road that looks like a scene out of Yellowstone, except in the middle of the road is a goddamn fucking toilet.
It looks like there's a TV attachment to it. That's not a TV,
bro.
I'm assuming.
So, no. This has... Let me see how you, like, scroll through. This bitch has... Bluetooth for sound. Guys, Numi 2.0 just tried to give me free $50 off and free shipping, as if that will help me pay for this
the price
$8,625 toilet, and that's the base price. It goes up to $11,500. Look at this. It looks like a weird little box in a room. No. And then look at this. It has ambient lighting. Like, it lights up to make a cosmic scene all about you as you're taking a shit. And you can play music.
Okay, that's probably the only cool part. This is creepy though.
Look at, also, I don't like the spout.
I don't either. It looks like I don't
It
know.
looks phallic.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't like it at all. There's a spout that comes out the back that sprays you. I'm assuming it like goes in or else you would literally poop on it. How bizarre is this?
I don't like it. Oh my god, we're
The
in.
screen in a screen in a screen is so fun.
I don't
How
like that
crazy
at all.
is that? Why does Discovery Plus think that I can afford an $11,000 toilet?
So, besides it playing music and being Bluetooth and lighting up and being a bidet, is there anything that's smart? Like, it's time to poop. Like, what is else is smart about it?
I don't know.
Not for
I
that
guess
much money.
it's
You
like,
better be able to read my fucking mind. Sorry.
you better be able to do a goddamn colonoscopy for that much money.
That is crazy.
And then beep the results over to my physician. Like,
Wow.
who's buying this? What's hilarious is that South Park, we've talked about this, did a bidet episode a while ago, and Randy went and bought this like $10,000 toilet. I thought this was hyperbole. I thought that South Park was exaggerating the cost of a toilet, and Randy would shut the door and then music would start playing and lights would change and you could see it from underneath the door. It was this whole like ambient experience. I think it was this toilet.
Dude, they're on it with their shit, man.
I should have known. I showed it to Jason. I was like, this is the South Park toilet. That was the only thing that I got out of it. That was fun. Who has an $11,500 toilet?
I can see some people having that. Like when you go to the bougies of the bougies, but there's no way that you could spend your money in so many other places.
I would lay my head on my pillow at night and think to myself, oh man, I just shit in a box that is somebody's like food budget for the year.
Yeah. That's so crazy. They're listening, man. They're popping up these weird ads for you. I can't wait to see what else they're going to pop up.
I know. The Amazon ads have continued. That still remains weird, but I had to. It like popped up. It was this whole like almost sensual commercial
Oh, no.
for the Lumi 2.0. And I was thinking like 2,000. 11.
That's ridiculous.
What did you think it cost?
If I had to have guessed, for a smart toilet, I could see it being like maybe three, maybe 4,000, maybe. Because I'm thinking of like smart refrigerators. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but to start off at that price and then be able to go to 11,000 just so you can shit on it or in it. And I don't even like bidets, so I'll pass.
I mean, how smart could it really be?
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
seriously.
Well, even with the fridges, it's like, do I really need the fridge to try to keep track of a grocery list when I can just write it down? Do we really want to rely on technology that much? I'm sorry. That's a whole other tangent for another day. We may want to talk about AI and technology and how I feel like it's actually taken over the world and I'm scared.
I mean, like, I think I have a smart washer and dryer because I didn't have an option. For me to, like, get front loaders, they had to be smart. I haven't hooked that bitch up to shit. I'm not Wi-Fiing my washer and dryer. They can shove it up their ass. Smart toilet. Like, you're dehydrated.
That's wild.
Insane. It's insane. Anyway, that was my follow-up sort of on bidets, but you know, I thought my mom's bidet was bougie as fuck because her toilet seat warmed up. It's not. My mom is shitting like a peasant.
Yeah,
compared to the
Sue
Lumi.
Magoo, you got to step your game up apparently.
I know. She's gonna find this out and be like,
I love it.
oh my god. Also, I just have one solo listener feedback. Lizzie wisdom to share with everybody. We've been numerous times discussing how it's like hard to make friends as an adult and just the crisis of how, and then the despair of how. But she shared with me, setting the scene. She's a little bit older than us, so she just retired from her last job. Early retirement though, So we're not talking like old person here, but lived a few more years than we have. Anyhow, she said, don't fret. She has met some of her best friends that she's ever met in her adult life.
That's cool. That's good.
So we don't have to feel like we've met and know the only people we're ever going to know.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like it takes a while, and it's to organically get friends as adult. You just happen to you have to be in the right place at the right time. Happenstance. Oh, I just want to throw that word in there. Or it just takes a little bit longer. But I feel that. That's good. That's good encouragement.
I know. It made me feel better. It makes me think, too, people probably stop putting on as much of a performance as they get older.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think probably meeting people in their 20s is the more exhausting than 30s, which will be worse than 40s. Like, I think with each decade, the bullshit, hopefully, more of the bullshit falls off. So maybe it's like we'll be able to find people faster.
Yeah, it's true, because if you're just being more yourself and not really caring and just being true to who you are, you'll meet more people quicker that actually are like-minded or can handle your sarcasm or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. That way you're not so fakey, and it takes weeding out to figure out who your real friends are. So,
and probably you get better at discerning who's going to be annoying before you go get a drink with them and then want to kill yourself. And then probably, I don't know.
That's the worst part, when you're just trying it out and you go out to dinner or get drinks with somebody, and within the first 10 minutes you're like, oh, fuck, I'm never hanging out with this person again, but I gotta get through the night and not act like an asshole.
I know. And you know me, like, I'll pop off with jokes and opinions at any turn, and I've put my foot in my mouth a real number of times with, like, talking about hating jewelry. Not hating it, but that's another question for another day. But just expensive shit. Yeah. Like, I don't get it. So I'll just notice something and be like, I don't get that. And that's my luck. That's like that person's thing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But again, it's just, we've had literal conversations on this podcast where I don't remember what it was, but you said something and you were shocked that what was it? It was several episodes ago. Oh, I pulled out my mask to sneeze. Sorry, everyone. I just think it's so funny, because that's the difference, though. Some people will take your sarcasm or your jokes or your opinions and really get offended by it, and other people will be like, not what I was expecting. That's super funny. I'm glad we have different ideas and we do different things. I don't know.
I know.
That's what's lacking. It's more fun. Yeah.
I don't want you to be the same as me, or I would just be by myself. Hey, Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. How are you, Kaylee? I'm good. I mean, I think I'm funny, but goddamn, I want to be around something different every once in a while.
Yeah, agreed. Well, that was good. Thanks for the feedback.
I know. Thank you for letting me ask you questions about glasses and menstrual cups and period trauma.
I love it. I know a lot of the women out there are going to have something to say, so hopefully y'all can share your stories, and we will leave it anonymous with those if you'd like, because, periods and things.
It's true. You can wait till the end and get our phone number and leave a voicemail. That's a pretty easy way to remain anonymous. Maybe you can leave us a voicemail, and then we can put it through a robot voice thing, and then you can sound like a crime show.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Also, I want to name this episode something about a bloodhound.
Okay, let's do it.
In honor of the weirdest, fucking creepiest dude I've ever made the mistake of spending my time with. I'm so thankful for Jason.
Ditto. Jason for you and Kenny for me.
I know. Do you ever just stop at the stupidest, most arbitrary things and think oh, thank God I found this person?
Yes. All the time.
for like dumb shit too. Even honestly, a lot of times I'll just look at someone else and be like, oh, thank God I'm married and I don't have to weed through this shit anymore.
Or sometimes I'll just look at other people's relationships and be like, hey, that's working for them and I'm really great, like happy for you guys, but I'm glad my relationship doesn't look like that.
I know. Or in my case, I can't believe he puts up with all the weird crap that I say all the time. And like everything's an innuendo. I'm just constantly saying dumb shit like changing of the guard,
Yeah.
burping. I mean, there's so many things. And I'm like, thank the Lord. 9 times out of 10, we're laughing together.
Yeah.
Or he's laughing at me, which is what I want.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't laugh with me, like, at least laugh at me. I just want laughs. And that's all I'm here for. It's so nice to be with someone that just, like, gets it.
Agree.
And meshes with it. Because, like, you and I have talked about, I'm dragging this out because I don't want to go. You and I have talked about this, but, like, the way you and Kenny talk to each other, you guys sound so nice. And I think sometimes Jason and I sound like old people bickering. We're not bickering, but we just, like, I don't know, have a different jokey rapport. Not all the time. He's the sweetest person in the world, and he's so flabbergastingly nice. But we have the same amount of sarcasm, and we like to throw it back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
So much so that we were in a store the other day, and this lady was like audibly laughing at us talking to each other.
I love that. You're those people.
And then I know. And then I was like, oh, let me put on a show. We got an audience.
You're so silly.
I know. And then he puts up with that. Okay. Anyway, I just was having moments of, I mean, I love him every day, but talking about ding dong weirdos like this, just, oh. I'm so thankful we both are with good people.
I agree. Love you. Love you, husband.
Thanks for not wanting to crawl in a hole and die for us doing this podcast.
Speaking of, he's probably hungry. I'm probably hungry. Baby's probably hungry. I'm so hot. That's the one thing I'll say, and I'll save it for next podcast too. I'll talk a little bit about I'll give you guys a bump date and how pregnancy is going, because we are nearing the end fast, which is crazy to me, but I have other things to share, but I am running so hot these days. I'm so hot. So I'm going to get out of these clothes and make some dinner, but
okay.
I love you.
I love you too, my friend.
Don't forget
Thank you
this
to all
time.
the turkeys. I won't. I have to say goodbye to the turkey verse. Listen, turkey verse. Kayla already told you a peep of what she would be talking about next week. We'll also be addressing, on a totally outside of the bathroom subject, things that we would do if we were rich. So dreamscapes, vision boards.
So men, come back and listen to us. We won't be talking about it. Hopefully it may come up. There's always an option that something weird will come up, but we shouldn't be too focused on woman things or toilet things.
Yeah, I don't see any bodily fluids in the forecast for next week. So as always, thank you guys for listening. We love you. Let's stay till the end for the peeps on how to get in contact with us. And okay, Kayla. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.